Hello, and welcome to our first podcast video on this channel. Actually, I don't know if it's going to be on a new channel, but still. I'm Isaiah, and this is my friend Tyler.
Hello, I'm Tyler.
Hello. Okay, just to get a little bit to know, we're going to make football content. I'm a Dolphins fan, he's a Browns fan, so if you notice some bias there, that's where it comes from.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to be doing our Week 6 predictions, so we'll be back in a second. And unpause. Okay, starting off the week, you have the Buccaneers, Eagles. I think this should be a pretty easy pick. I'm gonna pick the Bucs here on Thursday.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, this is not a very fair Thursday night matchup, but Buccaneers have been on a roll, coming off a nice win against the Dolphins. I think they're going to keep this up and ride it out. I think the Buccaneers are going to win this.
Yeah. Dolphins, Jags. I think my Dolphins are gonna win after taking 4 straight L's. I think we need to get back on pace, and this will be our game to get back on pace.
Yeah, I mean, I just cannot root. I can't see the Jaguars winning a game with Urban Myers as their head coach. He's looked super incompetent. I mean, with all his on-field issues, his off-field issues, I mean, there's no way the Jags are going to be beating the Dolphins this week.
Yeah.
Give me the Dolphins.
Viking Panthers, what should be a good game. The Panthers look good for the first half against the Eagles, but kind of just through there. Vikings look kind of sketchy against the Lions. I really don't know how to feel about this game. I think I'll take the Panthers at home in a slight one.
Yeah, I mean, this game is definitely going to be close. I'll actually go the opposite, and I'll take the Vikings. But I do feel. Do you know if Stephon Gilmore is going to be playing this
I
game?
don't believe so, no.
Okay, so yeah, I'll take the Vikings here. I mean, if Gilmore was playing that secondary, man, it's looking good for the Panthers. But
especially if JC Horn develops.
But I see Dalvin Cook having a bounce back game if he plays this week, and give me the Vikings.
All right, one of the best games we're gonna have this week: Chargers-Ravens. The Chargers have looked like on a roll. They just had that amazing win against the Browns. Ravens has also looked good. Lamar Jackson just had his best career game ever passing. So this should be a really good game. Give me the Chargers in a slight game.
Yeah, I agree. This game is going to be a crazy good game. Chargers and the Ravens are both two teams who are on fire, looking like some easily huge contenders this year to win the Lombardi Trophy. But I'm going to have to take the Chargers here. I mean, even though Lamar Jackson and his offense went off against the Colts and just killed it, I see the Chargers. I mean, they've beaten the Browns, they've beaten the Chiefs. I don't see any reason why they can't beat the Ravens.
Exactly. Rams-Giants. The Giants are so injured right now, there's no reason I shouldn't pick the Rams here. The Rams are on a roll right now. They did take that L to Arizona a couple weeks ago, but they bounced back last week, defeating Seattle. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, the Giants are going to need a miracle if they want to stand a chance in this game. Rams, they're going to be shutting them down with that elite defense already. And then the Giants, I'm not sure if Daniel Jones is going to play or not, but I know Saquon's going to be out. I know they have Galladay and Shepard and all the receivers out on injury. I mean, Rams are going to win this game.
Texans, Colts. I am going to take the Colts, but don't be surprised if the Texans find a way to pull this game off. They've honestly have managed to keep games close. They shouldn't keep close. So I will take the Colts, but it's going to be a slight game. It's a close game.
Yeah, I mean, this game is also going to be a pretty good game. I mean, Colts, they looked decent last game. I mean, their offensive line has been struggling a little bit with Nelson, with their guard out, but the Texans against the Patriots last week, they looked actually decent, especially against a solid Patriots team. I mean, I'll take the upset here, and I'll go with the Texans.
Ooh, that's a bold pick. Chiefs-Washington, a must-win game for Kansas City. They're 2-3 right now. We have not seen a Patrick Mahomes-led offense, a Patrick Mahomes-led team play this bad. They need to bounce back here, and I think they are going to. Washington's defense is much worse than it was last year. Heineke's been kind of inconsistent, and I don't know how to feel about them.
Yeah, I mean, I did hear that Tyreek Hill was dealing with an injury right after the game, but I did hear that he is likely to play this week. but it'll be interesting to see how they'll use him this week with coming up with that injury. But I still am easily going to take the Chiefs here. I mean, that offense is too good. Washington's defense, I know coming into this year was looking good and everybody was hyping them up. They have not came through with that yet. They have been looking bad. They've been giving up deep plays. I definitely have the Chiefs here.
Bears Packers. I just think it's a tradition that the Packers beat the Bears here. I really don't see how the Bears win this game. They could hardly squeak a win against the Raiders, and the Packers have looked like the Packers.
Yeah, the Packers are going to win this game unless the Bears can somehow find a way to get Allen Robinson into their play scheme, because they have been shutting him out this year, which is crazy. But yeah, I'm going to take the Packers here. I'm looking for a good game from Rodgers and Devontae Adams.
Lions Bengals. At the start of the season, if you were to tell me Lions at home, I would have picked the Lions. But the Bengals are looking good. They almost beat the Packers. They kind of got lucky with all those missed kicks, though. But I will still take the Bengals. Their offense has looked amazing. Jamar Chase is probably the front runner for Offensive Rookie of the Year right now. Yeah, give me the Bengals.
Do you know if Joe Burrow will play this game?
I don't know. I actually forgot. I don't know, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's my deciding factor.
Give me Bengals if Joe Burrow's playing. Give me Lions if he's not.
I agree. Joe Burrow, if he's not playing, I'm taking the Lions there. I mean, the Lions, they've not looked good this year. I mean, it's not really a surprise to anybody, but
yeah. I mean, to be fair, they lost to the Ravens by a 66-yard kick. They haven't looked like the worst team in the league.
Yeah, that's true. The Ravens game, they played decent, but
you can finish.
Okay, but yeah, I'm definitely taking the Bengals here. That receiving core is looking nasty with Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd.
Yep.
Yeah, taking them.
Another really good game, Cardinals-Browns. Cardinals 5-0 right now, only undefeated team against the Browns, coming off a amazing game with the Chargers. They did lose, and what I think will be a close game, I think Kylo Murray can squeak by with another win.
Yeah, so you guys know I'm a Browns fan, and you guys might think this is the obvious choice. I'm choosing the Cleveland Browns with my bias, but I'm actually going to have to go with the Cardinals here. I mean, that offense has been looking insane. I mean, Rondale Moore's been looking like the real deal. I know he had a few great catches last game. DeAndre Hopkins has been looking good. Kyler Murray's been one of the front runners for MVPs. Mm-hmm. It's just crazy. And the Browns defense, coming off a rough game against the Chargers. So.
They're also very injured right now.
Yeah, well, for me, as a Browns fan personally, I hope they bounce back, but I just don't see it happening against the Cardinals offense.
Okay. We're back. All right, Cowboys Patriots, another game that should be really good. The Cowboys have looked red hot. They haven't lost a game since that Week 1 loss to Tampa Bay, which they could have easily have won. New England has looked kind of sketchy, considering that their only wins have been against the Texans and the Jets. And Dallas has had some pretty convincing wins, including blowing out the Eagles and the Giants, also beating the Panthers. I will take Dallas in this game, but it should be a low-scoring game, honestly.
Yeah, I would say definitely look for a big game in CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper if he comes back fully healthy. I see the Cowboys, their offense going on fire. We know the Patriots just lost their star cornerback in Stephon Gilmore, and that defense hasn't been looking that good. So, I mean, I'm definitely taking the Cowboys here.
Between the Broncos and the Raiders, I was really high on the Broncos heading into the season. They've lost back-to-back games, but I cannot see a team that just fired their head coach to go in on the road against a divisional rival and win a game. That's gonna be hard for them. The Broncos defense is good. The Raiders have definitely regressed from those first 3 wins that they had. They were on that red hot streak, but then they've just looked worse. So right now I'm gonna take the Broncos.
Yeah, this game's going to be good, but I will have to disagree with you, and I think the Raiders are going to win, even though they did lose John Gruden. That'll probably affect them further on and how well they'll do in their postseason chances and all that. But I'm going to take the Raiders still. I mean, they've been coming off. They've had a few great weeks this year, and they've been looking like they're on fire. So give me the Raiders.
Head coach is right now.
Yeah, they just announced a temporary one. I forgot his name, but They announced somebody.
Seahawks, Steelers. This should be a good game. No Russell Wilson. Steelers' defense is good. Their offense has looked really questionable, though. They're coming off a big win against Denver, though. Seattle's coming off a loss, and they lost Russell Wilson. It's really hard to tell how this game's going to go. It's going to rely a lot on how well can DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett help Geno Smith. Hopefully Chris Carson will be there to help them. But I think I will take the Steelers in a slight edge, only because Russell Wilson is like one of the most important parts of that offense, and without him, I don't know how well they're going to play.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with you here. I know that Russell Wilson being out will be a huge bad thing for the Seahawks, but as some of you know, Juju Smith-Schuster, unfortunately, will be out for the rest of the year. And so that's a big hit on the Steelers. And Big Ben has been looking bad this year.
I know when you have Deontay Johnson to throw flats to, it's pretty easy for him.
Yeah, but, I mean, still, that offense, they lost a bunch of big pieces on their line over the offseason. Juju's out for the year. I don't see them pulling it off. I think Seahawks are going to win this game.
All right, so my best team in the league versus what I thought was the most overrated team in the league heading into the league, that's Buffalo versus Tennessee. Buffalo has looked red hot, and it hurts me to say as a Dolphins fan, but I watched them destroy Kansas City. I watched them shut out the Texans and the Dolphins. Bro, this team has looked unstoppable. The defense has looked great. The offense has looked, I can't even explain it. There's no reason I pick the Bills. There's no reason that I don't pick the Bills here. The Titans' defense is bad. You can't lean on Derrick Henry every game. This is the same team that lost to the Jets a couple weeks ago. Give me the Bills.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Bills, I mean, I'm not betting against the Bills. I don't care if they're playing the Chiefs, the Browns off a great week. I'm not betting against the Bills unless they show me otherwise. They have been coming off great weeks. Their defense just stepped it up to another notch. Josh Allen's looking better. I know Diggs is off to a slow start, but they had all these other weapons around them who have been stepping up. I know Emmanuel Sanders has been going off recently. Dawson Knox.
Isaiah McKenzie, Cole Beasley. Their offense isn't crazy.
Their offense is insane, and their defense is really the main part about their success this year. I mean, they've really, Tre'Davious White, I mean, all these guys, they've been just stepping it up this year. Give me the Bills.
Besides Kyler, I think Josh Allen's the best QB in the league. Kyler has looked really well. Hold on, before we end this, let's do a quick stat comparison between Kyler Murray and Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean, also, Mahomes, you got to give him credit. I know he's been, I think the record's, 2-3 right now?
2-3.
But, yeah, that defense has been just really... Yeah. If they had a defense that was just half as good as that, or if they had a defense that was just half as good as the Bills' defense, they would be 5-0 right now. I mean, their offense has been on fire this year. Their defense has really disappointed.
Tyreek has looked really good.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the front runners for Offensive Player of the Year right now.
Yeah. Kelsey's been decent. Mahomes has looked great still. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been iffy, but, I mean, still, their offensive line, I know they had a few big pieces over the offseason with Joe Thuney, and Orlando Brown and a few other guys, but they've been solid, their offense.
Well, besides the 10 touchdowns and 4 interceptions that Kyler has thrown, how did Trey Lance do? I didn't pay attention to that game.
Trey Lance, yeah, neither did I. Do you know what's their bye week?
The Niners? This week. This week is their bye week.
All right, so the Niners...
Lance kind of struggled in his first career game. 192 yards, no touchdowns and interception, and a 54.4 passer rating.
Yeah, they're going to need to incorporate some more of their big pieces in their offseason. I mean, they're going to need to get Trey Sermon into the mix. They're going to need to get Brandon Ayuk into the mix. I know they've been having rough years so far. But, I mean, we saw last year what Brandon Ayuk can do. I mean, he's made some great plays. If you just check down a pass to him and look at what he does, I've seen some big plays out of him. They really need to get him involved in that offense.
Josh Allen's been doing a lot better than I thought he was. 12 touchdowns and 2 interceptions and an 102.5 passer rating. Fantastic, bro. It hurts me to watch him go on a tear.
Yeah, it's crazy. Thinking like Josh Allen's doing this good, and Stephon Diggs hasn't even been doing that great this year.
Yeah, I guess this is kind of proving the haters wrong that he got carried by Diggs.
Yeah,
another team that really needs to turn this bye week around is the Falcons. Hooray, you beat the Jets. You gotta do something now. Kyle Pitts looked good. Start using him. When Calvin Ridley comes back, we already know that Calvin Ridley's good. Cordero Patterson has looked solid this year. Matt Ryan still has something left in him. Enough that if you turn this team around, they could become a playoff team. But it's going to be really hard to do, and they haven't looked that good.
Yeah, it's crazy how Cordero Patterson really turned his career around. I mean, everybody thought going into this year that he was done. He was not going to be fantasy relevant.
He was going to be Mike Davis's backup.
Yeah, he was not going to be relevant in any sort of fashion. Mike Davis was going to break out. But really, I mean, Cordell Patterson, he's turned into such a great, not only just a great running threat, but also a deep threat, like down the field. He's had some big catches down the field. And
he's kind of been looking like, it kind of looked like he looked like Myles Gaskin last week. Myles Gaskin coming off 10 catches, 2 touchdowns. For a running back, that's really good. For anyone, that's actually pretty good. And if both of these running backs get incorporated how they're supposed to be incorporated, more of pass catchers and less of runners, and more draw plays, screens, checkdowns, send them on a wheel occasionally and let them burn past a linebacker, these teams could get some offensive groove going, and both of them need it. The Dolphins desperately need it, and the Falcons, they have all the talent there to form a fantastic offense. They just haven't put it all together.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially for some of these teams like Kansas City, like I could only imagine if Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Williams, if any of those guys, they ran like decent routes out onto the field. I mean, these defenses are planning so much for Travis Kelce and those two guys that, I mean, they're going to be open most of the time.
Yeah.
So they would.
Realistically, the Chiefs should be 3-2. If Clyde Edwards-Helaire doesn't fumble in field goal range, they most likely win that Ravens game.
Yeah. Their defense needs to step it up this year if they want to go for the trophy.
If they want to go for the playoffs. If we look at I'm going to look at the NFL standings real quick. So obviously, no surprise in the AFC East. Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, Jets. We all knew the Bills were going to run the division, and we all knew the Dolphins and the Patriots are going to be fighting for second place. That's no surprise. The AFC West, though, has been a massive surprise. No one expected the Chargers to be 4-1. Nobody expected the Chiefs to be 2-3. And I know. No, when you look at their points for and points against, like, they have played close games. They have scored 154 points and have allowed 163.
It's crazy. If you would have told me that that's how the AFC West would be looking this far into the season, I would have thought you were crazy.
Yeah.
But it's insane how it's been turning out this year.
Besides the Bengals, the AFC North has been pretty regular. Browns in third place, but they tied the same record as the Bengals. The Ravens in first. Honestly, between the Ravens and the Browns, those were who we thought were going to be fighting for the division. But we could see Cincinnati squeak in a wild card spot, maybe, if they continue playing like this, and if Joe Burrow is going to play. And in terms of the AFC South, I think it's probably the worst division in the league.
Yeah,
the Titans aren't that good. They mostly have just beaten bad teams. The Texans are the Texans. The Jags are the Jags, and the Colts aren't that great, especially when being led by Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, though, the Titans have been dealing with injuries with both A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. I can definitely see if both of them start to perform how they did in the last few years, then that offense is going to be brought to an entire another level. I mean, defenses cannot go and stack the box against Derrick Henry and then worry about Julio Jones down the field or A.J. Brown down the field. I mean, that offense, if those two guys start playing like they've been playing the past few years.
And if Tannehill starts playing like he's been playing.
Yeah, then that offense could definitely be elevated, but they definitely need some help on that defense.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of the NFC East, I don't know who in their right mind thought the football team was going to win. Dallas has dominated. Like, it really has not been close. Both of their divisional games, they won by 20-plus points. I have no reason to believe they're not going to win this division. Like, they are good this year.
I agree. Another big shocker is Jalen Hurts has actually been playing at a decent level this year. Coming into this year...
The Eagles' defense has looked bad, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true. But coming into this year, Jalen Hurts, I know in the offseason. They picked up Gardner Minshew. I heard bad things out of training camp. I heard he wasn't doing good.
The Eagles hated Jalen Hurts heading into this year, but he's really proved them wrong.
He's overthrown his receivers, and that's the main reason behind signing Gardner Minshew is because they need a backup plan. And wow, has he performed at a great level this year. So looks to be, if he can keep this up, he can definitely be playing in Philadelphia for decent.
Giants fans really had high hopes for the season, but they have looked like probably, I don't know, fourth, third worst team in the league right now.
Yeah, Giants fans, I feel bad for you after I know a lot of you guys hearing after what happened this week with all the injuries. I know Kenny Galladay got hurt. I know Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones suffered a concussion. You guys already have Shepard out. You guys have your first-round draft pick on the O-line out. You guys, I mean, this is just unbelievable how this has been happening. And I'm sorry for you guys, but that offense is going to suffer major until a lot of these big pieces come back.
If you're going to tell me heading into the season that the Cardinals were going to be 5-0, dominating their division, blow out the Rams, I would have thought you were crazy. But here we are.
Yeah, I always knew the NFC West was going to be competitive. I know it was definitely going to be a three-way race or a four-way race between the Niners, Seahawks, Cardinals, the Rams. Yeah, I mean, all four of those teams have the capability to win the division. It was just going to come out to which one was going to perform, which one isn't. I know the Niners have been iffy this year. Seahawks have been iffy. But, yeah, the Rams and the Cardinals are fiery.
Especially no Russell Wilson. That's going to hurt the Seahawks a lot coming down the stretch. Seahawks fans by the end of the year, I feel like Seahawks fans will be looking back at games that they could have easily won as long as they had Wilson, and that's probably going to cost them playoff chances.
Yeah, so looking back on the Matthew Stafford trade, who would you say has won that trade so far?
Hold on, I got to remember what that trade was. I remember there were first-round picks involved, but
it was 2 first-round picks, Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford trade. What was the Matthew Stafford trade? Detroit Lions along the way. No, but I want to know the full trade.
I'm pretty sure it's 2 first-round picks, Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford.
Hold on. I want to make... Shoot, where is it? I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, I found something. In a blockbuster trade, Los Angeles Rams in exchange for the Rams' first-round picks in 2022 and 2023 and a third round in 2021. And quarterback Jared Goff. So far, we can't really tell because none of those draft picks have been used except for the third-round pick. And if we look, Lions' third-round pick. They drafted a defensive tackle, Allen McNeil. I have not heard about him. So far, he hasn't been looking much. But we're going to have to see how those first-round picks pan out.
Yeah, so after that trade, I mean, that was a big trade for both teams. I mean, it was a bold move. Matthew Stafford, easily the franchise quarterback for the Lions. They had to trade him away because they're not going to be competitors anytime soon. They were just wasting his career. But him being on Los Angeles, he's just turned that team around. He's upped them to the next level. I bet he's feeling much better not being on the Lions. And even Jared Goff hasn't been looking terrible on the Lions.
He really hasn't.
That offense, that whole team in the Lions, they're just a poverty franchise. They need to turn something around. If they want to be contenders within the next 10, 20 years, they're going to need to turn it around.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the Lions, we'll move on to the NFC North. Lions 0-5, and they could easily be 2-3. Justin Tucker, 66-yarder, and Vikings kicker, I don't remember who it is, but drilling a 54-yarder. They could be 2-3 easily. But realistically, Justin Tucker kick, that's not something you see every day.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, props to Justin Tucker. I mean, that was huge kick.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
I really like where the Lions are going. We saw what happened when the Rams built a foundation around Jared Goff. They went to the Super Bowl. They've already built a top 10 O-line. If Penei Sewell turns out really good, they could have a top 5 O-line. And
yeah, I agree.
TJ Hawkinson has looked good. DeAndre Swift has looked pretty solid as well. So they have those young guys there. They just need to build up on that defense, and I'm hoping they can do it this draft. But losing Jeff Okuda before the season started was a huge loss.
Yeah, also they need a star receiver. I mean, I know they've been running with their Quintez Cephas and a few other smaller guys on that receiving core, but they don't have that standout dude who Jared Goff can run out of the pocket and look and expect him to be open. He doesn't have that guy. They need a star receiver. I mean, they could be looking next year's draft possibly to get in that. We'll see how they do this year, depending on their draft pick. But
I was
they
shocked
need a
when they
receiver
did.
back.
I was kind of shocked when they drafted Penei Sewell over Devontae Smith.
Yeah, I mean, I see why they did it. Penei Sewell was not expected to fall that deep. I mean, he was looking to possibly be on the Bengals, but I mean,
well, we saw what Jamar Chase is doing, so I don't know the Bengals are really. Plus, being an lineman, especially in your first year, is like really hard. So currently, right now, the Bengals made the right choice. But in the long run, we're just going to see how well Penei Sewell does. It takes a while for a lineman to adapt in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, O-linemen, they're super underrated. I mean, I bet most of you can't name the entire O-line on your favorite team, or even like just a few players on other teams. I mean, you know all these big name receivers, but O-line, they do their job well, and a lot of them go unnoticed. So we'll see how Penei Sewell will do. But I mean, Jamar Chase, the headlines, he's been looking fantastic. He's easily been looking like the best receiver out of this draft class.
Something that's been shocking me: the Bears and the Vikings. Bears being the number 2 team, being 3-2. I think Justin Fields started much sooner than I thought he was going to, but still, I don't know how I feel about the Bears. I don't really think they've been that good. They haven't done anything that impressive this season, and I think the Vikings have looked like a better team. And in terms of that, I still see the Vikings being second in the division behind the Packers.
I agree. I mean, the Bears, they suffered a huge loss when David Montgomery went out with that injury. I know he still has a few weeks to come back, but I know Justin Fields, as he recently got announced the starter, and he's been okay. He hasn't been blowing the fans away, but I mean, he's looked decent. He's definitely looked like a serviceable quarterback. Once again, like I said earlier, they need to get Robinson into their rotation. I mean, that offense is not going to run the same without Robinson and Darnell Mooney. They need to get him in, and they need to work on that run game. And that O-line is just terrible. It's a bad O-line there in
All right, final division. We'll talk about the NFC South. Panthers, Sam Darnold has looked solid, like really good this season. He's looked pretty solid, but the Panthers are coming off back-to-back losses. They still don't have Gilmore. They're gonna need to find their groove again. In terms of the Saints, I don't know how to feel about the Saints. One week they're doing really good, and the next week they're just not the same team. It's really hard to say what to expect out of the Saints and Jameis Winston.
Yeah, and I know something that I read recently is with the Buccaneers, Antonio Brown. Man, that guy. We must be playing checkers, or when he was playing chess, because he left Pittsburgh and he left the Raiders. He left those two teams coming off of their downfall, and New England coming off of their downfall, only to join another Super Bowl contending team. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, Antonio Brown, after everything that's happened with him, we thought he was done with the league. We thought there's no way he was coming back. And now he's playing he's looking like a great receiver.
He's looking like the best receiver on the Buccaneers.
Easily. Yeah. He's had a few breakout plays. He's looking like an elite receiver this year. I mean, it's just crazy. Props to him, but
we've already talked about the Falcons on how they have to find that offensive groove. But yeah. All right. Well, that's all. That was a good start. That was a good start to it. All right. Well, see you guys.
Yep, bye.